So we're going to put everything together that we've been doing. So a new word to you might be composite. Composite area. If you have something that's made of composite materials, maybe you have a furniture or you have some metal or something that's made up of composites. A composite is just several things that have been put together to make one final product. So a composite area just means a couple of areas put together. So it could be like this composite. We don't have a formula to find that L shape, the area of an L shape, but we do have the formulas to find the area of two rectangles that are tied together. So I could use those two. I could also use that rectangle and that square. And so there are different ways. I could even, if I really wanted to, I could break it into 3 pieces and then add all of the areas together. So when you want a composite area, I want you to take the figures, break it into its pieces, and add all the areas together. You might also be asked to find the shaded area. To find the shaded area, you find the area of each shape. So in this case, I would find the area of the big square that's 8 by 8, and I would subtract the area of the small square that is 4 by 4. And that would give me the area of the leftover piece. It's kind of like taking the scissors to it and cutting it out. So what you got to do is break these pieces up into shapes that you do have formulas for. So if I look at this arrow in number 1, if I draw in this line right here, what I see is I have a rectangle and I have a triangle. So first, let's look at the rectangle. The area of the rectangle is base times height. So I have my base and my height of my rectangle. So my rectangle is 30 times 50, and it's just base times height. So 30 times 50 is 1,500. So the area of the rectangle is 1,500. And I like to put it right here in the shape so that I don't forget about it. Now I need to find the area of the triangle. Well, the area of the triangle, I need a base and a height of the triangle. Well, my height is 30. There's my height. And then I have my base. Well, my base is this whole side. So don't forget, this 30 goes all the way over and goes right there too. So this length right here all the way is 5 plus 30 plus 5. So that is 40. So the area of the triangle is base times height divided by 2, or base, which was 5 plus 30 plus 5, which was 40, times the height, which was 30, divided by 2. So 1,200 divided by 2 is 600. So I would say then the area of that triangle is 600. So then I would take the 1,500 and I would add the 600, and that gives me 2,100 centimeters squared. So that would be the total area of number 1. Now, on number 2, you could do it a couple of ways. You could take away that triangle piece, but you would have to, and you know the height, and you do know the width of it, so you could do it that way if that helps you. You could look at it like this, as a square or a rectangle with a half circle on the bottom of it, and then take away the triangle. Or you could find the area of each of the triangles and add that to the area of a half circle. So remember, the circle, the area of a circle is pi r squared. So the area of the circle, right, is pi times r squared. So it'd be pi times, look at your circle. Now you got to be careful here, right? It's only half a circle. So we're going to find the area of our whole circle. So it'd be pi times r squared. The radius is 9. So we would do 81 times pi, and we get 254.5. 254.5. Now I'm going to divide that by 2 and get 127 I rounded, I shouldn't have yet, 127.25 if I divide it by 2, because it's half a circle, right? Half circle. So the circle is 127.25. We'll round it at the end. Then I need my triangle. Now, just like we found earlier, right? That was 9, because that is still part of the triangle. So let's find then the area of the triangle. Well, the area of the triangle is base times height divided by 2. So I have my base, which was 9, and my height, which is 19, divided by 2. So 9 times 19 divided by 2 is 85.5. So that's 85.5. This one is 85.5. The other one is the same size, so it's 85.5. So now I add them all together. 85.5, and I have 2 of those, plus 127.25. And I get 298.3 because it said to round, and that would be centimeters squared. So just take each shape. So this is basically just a couple of those shapes put together that we've been doing. So on number 3, notice what we've done is basically we've got this rectangle, and we are taking away a half circle. So how big is my rectangle? Well, the base of it is 15, and the height of it, notice that the radius of the circle is 10, so that would be 10, and that would be 10. So this side would be 20. So I'm going to take it away. So my area of my rectangle is base times height. So that would be 20 times 15, which is 300. Then I got my circle. Okay, so the area of the circle is pi r squared. Okay, that's pi times 10 squared. That's 314.2. Now, it's a half circle, so I got to divide it by 2 because it's a half circle. So 314.2 divided by 2 is 157.2. Or 0.1. That's for half the circle. And then you take the rectangle and you subtract the half circle. Not the whole circle, the half circle. So you take 300 minus 157.1. You get 142.9. And that would be feet squared, or square feet. Then we've got the last one, number 4. It's a rectangle minus 2 circles. So we take our rectangle and just kind of keep up with it. Just be neat about how you do it. It doesn't matter how you write it. Just kind of be neat in how you write it down so that you can keep up with all of your numbers. So my rectangle area is base times height. So my base was 21. My height was 30. And 21 times 30 is 630. So the area of my rectangle is 630. Then the area of one of the circles, area is pi r squared. That's on the formula chart. So pi times the radius of the circle squared. So pi times r squared is 153.9. There are 2 of them, so you would multiply that by 2. So 153.9 times 2. And that gives you 307.8. So we need to take the area of our rectangle and we need to subtract the circles. So we take 630 minus 307.8. 630 minus 307.8, you get 322.2, and that's square yards, or yards squared. So to do these, you have to pay attention to whether I need to add the shapes together or whether I need to subtract it. So think of it as if there's holes in it, right? If you've got a solid shape and you've cut some hole out of it. You could have done number 2 with subtraction, or you could have done both. You could have added and subtracted. You could have found the area of a rectangle, added the area of the circle, and then subtracted the area of the triangle. You could have done it that way. But I think it's easier to see the two triangles and add the half a circle for number 2. But sometimes you can be creative in how